Alright guys, so in today's video we are going to take a look at how this advanced eating system was made, alright? So we have this tool right here. Let's take a look inside of this local script. So script parent refers to this tool. Dot activated refers to the event which happens when you have equipped the tool and perform the left mouse button click, alright? So this basically happens, so this event is triggered when you equip this tool and perform a left mouse button click. Then this right here happens, and this is basically a fire server to this remote event. So we are referring to this replicated storage and then to this remote event called df, so the fruit. Then we fire a server with the task eat. Okay. Now we have this df server script, which is going to handle all of these fire servers. So we are referring to this remote event right here once again. And then this on server event is basically an event which happens when you have fire server this remote event. Okay. And we received a player who has fire served and then a bunch of other arguments. So this what argument is the task, okay? So what equals eat, final step, real eat. So as you can see, we are categorizing each task right here. All right. Before we actually move on with this stuff, I would like to explain to you how this dough fruit is made, okay? So we have this dough fruit right here, okay? So the tool with something called handle. All right, and when you take a deeper look inside of this handle, then we have the stem, which is totally normal as well. Okay, but then we have something called eat and handle. Now, as you guys know, this advanced delve fruit system changes the delve fruit's appearance once you have eaten it. So it changes the handle's main part. It changes the handle transparency to 1, while changing these two parts transparency to 0. Then you receive this, okay? And this looks like the delve fruit has, has been bitten. Yeah. So how is this made? I've basically took this handle right here. I have put it inside of Blender, and then I have used the Boolean modifier inside of Blender to cut off one certain part right here, as you can see. So I've inserted a sphere. I have cut off this part. And I have re-imported this into ROBLOX Studio. And then I have created the union right here, as you can see. Okay, so this was formerly a cylinder, which which by solid modeling has received its current look. So I have created a bunch of spheres right here, have positioned them right here, made sure that they are negates, and then have unioned them with the sphere together. And then I was able to create this look right here. All right. So this is how I've done things. And then we are going to, turn down the transparency, set the transparency of this main part right here to 1, while setting these two to visible. Okay, so this is basically what is going to happen via script later on. Now let's take a deeper look inside of the server script. So if player.character find first child df. So what is this if statement here for? So we are basically checking if the tool is still equipped. If that is the case, then we are once again referring to the remote event, and then we are doing fire all clients. So we are basically fire clienting to every player. And then this is one thing I have just discovered, let's say today, because of a comment of someone of you guys. So thank you for the person who has commented this. So basically the person, let me try to actually find this person's name. All right, so that guy's name was Chilled Wall. Yeah, shout out to you, bro. Thanks for this advice. I still have to get used to it, but yeah. So basically we have created a dictionary, so we have those curly brackets, and instead of having a bunch of arguments right here, all right, we have one dictionary which contains all of these arguments. All right, so task, performer, whatsoever. Okay, so you can't really consider this as a bunch of arguments in one argument. Okay, so that might help. And yeah, so when this remote event right here is fire served with the task to eat, then we first of all check if this tool exists. If that's the case, then we fire to all clients with the task to replicate this eat process. And yeah, of course, the performer who is performing this eat stuff right here. All right, then let's take a look inside of this client replicator script, because that's a script which replicates everything. Okay, and as you can see, we're only expecting one argument right here, and this argument is this whole dictionary with the other arguments, so the thing you have just seen before. Okay, let me get rid of this actually. Yeah, so as you can see, I can create a variable called performer, and this performer is then the performer variable inside of this argument. So if you take a look at this dictionary, as you can see, we have an argument inside of this dictionary. Well, not really argument, but let's say entry or variable called performer, okay? And you can just easily refer to this by referring to the dictionary itself, which is this argument basically, and argument dot performer. Or if you want to refer to something else, let's say you want to refer to the task, as we've done right here, then you can do argument dot task, okay? So that's basically the transition to this part. So if the task is to replicate this eat process, then we want to continue, all right? Okay. So what we have right here is this dull fruit GUI. So this GUI which pops up, this frame which pops up, which asks you whether you're sure that you want to eat this dull fruit or not, all right? And the reason why this only is restricted to the performer itself is because it is a frame which only appears to the performer, and the answer of the performer is the only answer we want to know about, okay? It doesn't really matter if someone else besides the performer wants to eat the fruit or not, because the person does not possess the fruit, all right? So we want to make this frame only appear to the performer. That's the first thing. Second thing, we want to see how the performer reacts to it. So is the performer sure about eating this devil fruit or not, okay? That's the reason why we have to check whether this local player right here, so the owner of the script, is the performer itself. Okay, so we do not want this code to run for any other player besides the performer. Okay, and this isn't even something, so this code isn't something you want to replicate on others as well. So you only want this for the performer. All right. Maybe, to be honest, it wasn't really that smart to use fire all clients in this case. I admit that. So I think that my plan was a little bit different, and it turned out differently than I have expected. That's the reason why I've started using firewall clients right here, and then went with a fire client solution. So only only having one client right here. Okay, so maybe fire client and then adding the player you are fire clienting to would have been a better solution in this part right here. All right. But what happens right here is that, first of all, after this check, we are checking if there is something inside of the script called preceded. If that is the case, then we want to return. So this preceded instance is going to be an int value, which is going to appear inside of the script. So as a child of the script, after you have pressed the proceed button as the performer. And this will prevent any other, you know, GUI stuff, GUI appearance shit, you know, so everything related to the GUI is not going to appear after you have clicked on this preceded button. And that is important because after you have clicked on the button, and then let's say you re-click with your left mouse button, it could still happen that the GUI appears, okay? And that's the reason why it is important to know whether you have preceded or not, okay? And that's literally what this int value is all about. So when this value does not exist, then we are creating it, okay? So called preceded, and this is actually a little bit different than what I've just explained, okay? So you can imagine this, or you can consider this value as some kind of cooldown to the GUI. So this one just limits the GUI from appearing too much. So the GUI can only appear every 5 seconds, okay? So we are creating an int value inside of the script, we are calling it preceded, and then we are destroying it after 5 seconds once it has been created. So what we're trying to do right here is that, first of all, we are trying to create the illusion of this GUI not appearing anymore after you have clicked preceded, because what happens when you click proceed on the frame is that we will move on with this real eat stuff right here. So everything regarding the real eating process, so the animation which is being played, you know, so the bite you're taking from the food whatsoever, from the fruit, yeah. Yeah. And All right, everything related to that happens once you have clicked on the button, and we are expecting everything related to that happen within 5 seconds. Okay, and this is literally just an illusion, so these 5 seconds. So after the fruit was eaten, it is still possible for the frame to reappear, but we are destroying the tool later on. That's the only reason why it does not reappear. But if for some reason the real eating process takes longer than 5 seconds, then there is a chance of the frame to reappear, but that's almost impossible. That's the reason why I depend on this and why I trust in this. All right, what we have right here is that we have a variable called GUI, and we are referring to this screen GUI inside of our player GUI, and especially to this frame right here, as you can see. And this frame is, you know, the frame which asks you whether you want to eat this mysterious looking fruit or not. And we are making it visible right here, and then we are having a tween which moves the frame from down here, okay, so outside of this border into the screen. That's the job of the tween right here. And once this tween is completed, we are referring to this proceed button and this cancel button. And yeah, once this proceed button was clicked, we are fire servering this remote event with real eat. What happens right here is that we are then firing to all clients with the task to perform real eat. So the task down here, which is everything regarding the real eating process. And then right here, we are having another tween which moves the frame down again, so outside of your screen. And once the tween is completed, we set the visibility of this GUI to false, okay? Now, the thing with the cancel button is once it has been clicked, it literally does this part, so everything without the fire server. Yeah, so it moves the frame out of the screen, and it sets its visibility to false. That's what happens right here. All right, now let's take a look inside of this real eating process, and then we are pretty much done. Yeah. So what happens right here is that we are making the player unable to move. So the performer right here, walk speed is set to 0, jump height is set to 0. Then we are creating a new animation right here inside of the performer's character. We are setting the name to eating animation. We are having an animation ID right here. Be aware, the animations will not work for you. You have to create your own animations. And we are loading this animation and we are playing it. And then we are also having an eat sound right here. So inside of the client replicator, that's a sound. We are putting it inside of our character and we are playing it, and after 2 seconds we are destroying it. So we are expecting the sound to finish within 2 seconds. That's the only reason why I've put a 2 in here, alright? So do not expect the sound to be finished within 1 second or within 2 seconds. Right here, we are waiting, so we are pausing this whole script until the animation, so this loader right here, this loaded animation track is done. So it's stopped. And if that is the case, then we are checking if this dull fruit tool is equipped, means it is located inside of the character. That's basically how you can know whether a tool is equipped from outside. Okay, so if it is equipped, or there's at least one way to know it. There are of course events, so the equipped event you could use. But yeah, so if it is inside of the character, then as I've already explained to you, we are going to make the handle right here invisible while we are making this eating handle visible. All right, so we are creating the illusion of this bite, of this bitten fruit. That's basically what happens right here. So handle's transparency is 1. Then we are looping through the handle right here via get descendant, and then we are checking if the name of the instances we stumble on is eaten handle or eaten 2. So these two we are looking out for, and we would like to set their transparencies back to 0. And if we have found them, then we are doing that. Now, right here, we are referring to the chat service, and then we are performing this chat function. And what this does is that it creates a chat bubble over our performer's head with this text, so this fruit is disgusting, and in this chat color, well, that's at least what Roblox promises to us, but it doesn't happen. I think that chat colors aren't even there anymore, so they aren't even a thing anymore. So they used to be a thing back then, but I think that Roblox has removed them because I'm not able to use this for whatever reason, so the chat color doesn't appear. Now right here, we are having another animation. This time... Wait. This is not the eating animation, this is the puke animation. So our player pukes as well after he has eaten the fruit. So that's the animation ID. So this one follows the same concept as up here. So creating an animation, entering the animation ID, loading the animation track, and yeah, after 0.5 seconds, we are having a tween right here, which expands our field of view, as you can see. And once this tween is done, we are decreasing our field of view back to 70 within 0.5 seconds. Alright, and right here, we are cloning a puke sound, a vomit sound. We are putting it inside of our character's head. We are destroying it after 3.5 seconds. Now wait. This puke right here is actually the particle, I'm sorry. So the particle is being destroyed after 3.5 seconds and is being put inside of our performer's head. The puke sound is being cloned right here and played right here. So it is being put inside of the character, it is played, and it is destroyed after 3 seconds. And right here we are fire serving this remote event with the task final step. And we actually have to put this way. So game players, local player equals performer then. So that's very, very important, because otherwise every player would fire server this part right here multiple times, although we only need to fire server this once. So it is important that the performer then fire servers this once, which is totally enough. Because what this thing does is that, so the final step is literally giving the attacks. So that's something you guys have to find out for yourself, so how that works, because I don't know how your attacks are organized. And furthermore, destroying the fruit tool. That's what happens right here. And after 4 seconds of puking, you know, we are setting the walk speed and jump height back to their normal states. So let's take a last look into this. So you're about to eat this mysterious looking fruit. Would you like to proceed? Yeah, we want to proceed. This fruit is disgusting. There we go. Alright guys, that's it with this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If so, leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all your friends, leave me feedback in the comment section. Guys, take care and see you in the next video.